Hello, everyone. This is Ben Dunn, the founder of Antarctic Press, a small comic book publishing company established in 1985, creator of such comics as Ninja High School, Marvel Mangaverse, Warrior Nun, Tomorrow Girl, Penguina, and a host of other comic books. So, what's going on here? It's the in the last day or so, the Dallas area has experienced a huge number of movie theater closings. Now, this is something that I never would have imagined. Now, when you have a downturn in the economy, you expect maybe a few might be closed. Maybe some of the less profitable ones might be shuttered, for the time being. But for all of them to be closed, so let me tell you what's going on here. The In the past day or so, no less than 7 movie theaters have closed. 7. All 5 of the Alamo Draft Houses theaters in DFW and one in Minnesota have closed. You know, and from what I understand, closed for good. As well as a very, very nice theater called the Angelica. We used to show a lot of art films, things like that. Very showed a lot of indie films, and had a cafe and everything like that. It's what does this portend? It's one thing to have a couple movie theaters close. Shows maybe the economy's not so good, but to have a whole bunch of them closed, I mean, is this the sign of a movie theater apocalypse? Something that may spread all across the country. It's starting to happen, folks. Starting to happen. It could very well signal the end of movie theaters as we know it. You know, Maybe they'll rebrand themselves. Maybe they'll try something different. Maybe they'll try something new. Maybe they'll be more of a sort of a niche. Maybe more of a theater experience, similar to going to a play or something like that. I don't know. Maybe they'll rent them out. For people to enjoy private screenings of movies and stuff, or parties. Maybe it'll be like Chuck E. Cheese or something like that. Who knows? Who knows? But anyway, the details are, that 5 Alamo Draft, and I liked Alamo Draft. It was a pretty good theater. It was very nice. I've eaten there in the past. It was fairly nice movie theater. They had really comfortable chairs. They had tables you could eat at. The food was okay, not bad, pretty good. You know, my daughter worked at the Alamo Draft House. I knew something was going on when she was let go. For no explanation. Uh, uh, so what is this? What is this? What is this signal? Has it been so bad? That the content that they're showing, has been so awful, or people, have just simply not have gotten out of the habit of going to the movie. I think it all started when the lockdown. I mean, some people have told me that this all started with the lockdowns. When movie theaters couldn't show movies during the lockdown, it got people out of the habit of going to the theater. You know, and maybe that could be streaming may have also played a contributing factor. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of factors. That had contributed to the demise of what's going on with movie theaters. You know, I I predict that probably AMC and Cinemark and a lot of other theaters are going to follow suit. Now, what's going to happen to Hollywood if theaters suddenly close all of a sudden? I mean, not maybe over a period of time, but all at once. How's that going to affect them? Are they going to go exclusively to streaming? The market is already crowded, and then they've shown that's not sustainable. The subscription market is not sustainable. Now, if that's the only choice, maybe people will shift to streaming. Maybe if they start making content people actually want to watch, that may also help quite a bit. And some people say, well, is this also the signal that comic book stores will follow suit? Well, that's a little bit different. That's you know, they're sort of comparing apples and oranges. The thing about comic book stores is that comic book stores are flexible. They're not reliant on one product. The thing about the movie theaters, they rely too much on Hollywood movies. They expected Hollywood, they trusted Hollywood to produce content that people will want to go see, and quite frankly, Hollywood has let them down. They betrayed that trust. They started making things that no one wanted to watch. It's really interesting that a movie like Godzilla minus one did so well with such a minuscule budget. They probably made Godzilla minus one with less money than most Hollywood catering budgets. So there's got to be sort of a coming to Jesus meeting in Hollywood. They're going to have to look at themselves seriously and say, this could signal the end. This could also signal the rise of a new sort of filmmaking, one led by independent auteurs, people with vision, people who can make movies outside the Hollywood system. And it's starting to show. People are starting to make more and more content out of the Hollywood system. The success of Godzilla minus one is a good sample at that. Who would have thought? There are other movie industries out there that can also fill in the void. It's just a matter of, it's all about the content. What is entertainment but content? That's all it is. It's just content. The thing about it is that, I create content for comics. That's what I do, and I know who my audience is. I know what my audience expects. I know what they want. I try to give it to them as best I can. With what I have, and I'm hoping that people will continue to support me. And I like to engage them. I like to feel like they're part of something. I don't go out and insult my readers. I don't go and berate them, try to make them feel stupid. Try to stick it to them. That's a very expensive way to stick it to people. Yeah, I'll spend $200 million just so I can make you feel bad. That's how stupid a business model must that be. It's like, and these executives who greenlight, they think, what must be going through their heads saying that, oh yeah, let's go ahead and make something that no one will like. Maybe if they have that kind of money to burn, it's more power. They have every right to spend money any way they want. Just like I have the right not to watch their garbage. I don't have to see it and look at them. And by berating me or insulting me or blaming me for their failure, it makes me want to watch them even less. Even if they do something good, I wouldn't want to watch it. Because they've betrayed my trust. It's a lot of people have been saying to me that there's a lot of complicated factors in the closing of these theaters. Maybe the economy is bad. No, the economy's been bad before, and they've survived. In fact, during the Great Depression, movies did just fine. People wanted to get away from it all because Hollywood made content people wanted to watch. That's the thing. It all started with, I believe, the lockdown. People say, we have to have the lockdown. And I remember Hollywood was so supportive of the lockdown, yet they never experienced it themselves. They made us feel bad if we didn't support it. And I hope all the people who were big advocates of the lockdown are happy with their results. Actions have consequences. They do. They have consequences. The sooner people realize what they do, what they say will result in something else, the better. That's why, you have to think about what you say and what you do. Flying off the handle, only me. If you act on emotion, it's only going to result in something that's going to come back to bite you in the butt. You know? And now we're seeing the result of that. I don't know. I love going to the movie theaters, but the cost of going, the time involved, the experience, it just wasn't worth it. There were a couple of things I always thought might be more interesting that they could have employed. And I know it probably is a panacea, but what if the theaters had offered earphones for people so they wouldn't be interrupted by people around them? They could listen to the movie and watch it without being distracted. And what if they offered couches or something else, or offer family packs, where you can get like a group discount or something like that, improve the experience. But really, what it comes down to is the content. People are just not going to watch what Hollywood has to offer. People are still going to the movies to watch good stuff. I mean, look at Barbie, Oppenheimer, Godzilla, might as well. Just like in comics, people are starting to gravitate toward indie comics because they're providing what they want to read. They're providing what they. The only thing about indie comics that Marvel and DC has is presence and consistency. They're always out there every week. The amount of material they produce is huge. And it's hard for indies to compete with that. But we can. Indie comics can compete that. Slowly, if we can just get people into the habit of, supporting indie comics by the content, then, we will continue to make comics. And comics, they don't cost millions and millions of dollars to produce. That's the main thing. You don't have to spend huge amounts of money to produce a comic, and that's where our advantage lies. Is that it doesn't cost a lot. When movie companies are spending, the amount of money that they're spending on content that's terrible, then yeah, no one's going to go. People may see it, but they won't make enough money to make a profit, and that's really what it comes down to. You got to make a profit. That's our capitalist system. If you don't make a profit, you're going to go out of business. Simple as that. And I guess the movie theaters weren't making a profit, and that's unfortunate. Could this be the end? Could this really be the end of movie theaters? Well, I don't know. It could be the end of chain movie theaters that are reliant on Hollywood output. I could see little mom and pop theaters, come popping up all over the place. Little tiny theaters, maybe show one or two movies, maybe only open on the weekend, offer really high quality concessions, show retro movies that were meant to be seen in the theater, let people experience old movies for the first time on a big screen. I mean, that's possible. I could see that happening. I think if I ever had enough money, that's what I'd do. I'd open up a little nice, only on the weekend type theater. Show do movie theater. Double features, have festivals, show indie films, things like that. Make it a group experience, make it a social experience. Offer really high quality concessions. Gourmet popcorn. High end drinks, things like that. And make it fun. Make it a party. Make going to the movie theater experience, fun and involved and social. So that people can get together and have a good time. That's really what people want, is to have a good time. They want to be entertained. They don't want it to be a chore. No one wants to work to be entertained. It makes no sense. Well, anyway, that's just my rant for the day. I do feel like this is somehow a portent of things to come. You know, we'll see what happens. You know, over the next few months, over the next year or so. You know, but I think it's going to get a lot worse before it gets a lot better. You know. So anyway, that's my thought for the day. You do what you will, harm no one. If you like the content, so please like and subscribe. It really does help. And until next time, this has been Done signing off. Oh, before I forget, I do have a new Kickstarter campaign going. It's called The Crimson Nun. This is the first return to the universe that I created, the Warrior Nun universe. You know, it doesn't have anything to do with Warrior Nun, but I do have ownership of the Crimson Nun, and this is her first adventure since 1996. If you like good old-fashioned pulpy adventure, you know, this is the kind of book for you. It's got a lot of action, it's got a lot of intrigue, a lot of mystery. You know, it's a throwback to the pulp heroes of the past. Check it out now on Kickstarter. The link will be below. Thank you very much. Until next time, this has been Done signing off.